Hello and welcome to a new video on the HKCM Global channel. My name is Philip. Big announcement today. We are finally online with our paid subscription service on hkcmglobal.com. So if you're interested in our content, go into more depth and also see all the markets all the time we are analyzing. This is your chance now. We didn't just launch the new HKCM Global paid subscription service today, but we're also launching our new AI stock package, let's call it like that, which will include over 20 AI stocks. If you're interested in that, just have a look at our website. There's also a promotion taking place right now with 20% off. Code is Matrix20 on our AI stock package. So also feel free, take a look at our website. Just feel free, browse around and look at all of our other products as well. We have other stock packages, tech, for example, German stocks, US Titans, China Titans. And as just mentioned, of course, our new AI stocks package, which is going online today and which can be bought at $99.95, depending on your currency and location. Let's dive in. I'm going to look at one of the stocks that's going to be included in the package. Maybe let's just look at the overall package, which stocks are going to be included here. There's the complete list on our website. So some highly interesting stock picks here. And today we're going to start out by looking at Intuitive Surgical. And I've brought, as always, the two charts, the more detailed imminent expectations and the overall perspective, and of course also my indicator charts here. Let's dive in. Let's look at our overall scenario here. We are basically expecting the stock has a decent history. We're going back to around 2001. So not the youngest of stocks, which is often an issue in analyzing charts. If there's a stock which has just had their IPO a year or 2 years ago, you have little history on the charts, which makes it much more difficult to analyze. But here we have a decent history. And so currently, our overall expectation in our primary scenario is that we are still within wave 3, which hasn't completed yet. And in the long run, we are expecting the stock to complete a wave 1. So wave 3 completed, then a wave 4 correction, and then a final up leg in wave 5 of 1, and then an overall correction of everything that the stock has done in its life cycle. Alternatively, we have to conclude that it would be possible that maybe wave 5 is already finished. At the last top we've seen here in January of 25, and we are going down for quite some time, because then we would have to expect stock to reach levels around $235 to $131, which would be, of course, a very significant drop. But as we also know, currently the market, especially the tech sector, NASDAQ, etc., is in a larger term correction. Also look at my other videos on that topic I've posted on this channel here on the NASDAQ and tech stocks as well. So we are definitely overall in the market environment, we are looking at a downtrend here currently. So this will be interesting how this plays out. But for the alternative to kick in, the stock would at least need to drop below 358, and we are still a good deal away from that. But on our for the intermediate imminent expectation, I'm not expecting this to happen. We are expecting the stock to drop a little bit more. Yes, that's the case here. It would be between 438, 394. And after that, another up leg in the wave 5 of the subwave 3. So we are on this chart, we are looking basically at all the subwaves of this wave 3 here taking place. And so I'm expecting this to drop a little further. Now, the issue with the current price action that's been taking place since the high in January is that everything that's coming down here could also be counted as an impulse wave, which would mean that this is either going to be an A wave or a wave 1 of an A wave, for example, in a larger correction, where we could also make the case that this would already be part of this corrective scenario. But nevertheless, we still have a new buy zone here on the chart. Why do we have a new buy zone here? Because the risk is rather low, because even if this should play out as an impulse, we would have already seen wave 1, 2, 3, and probably also wave 4, because I'm expecting this to make a new low soon. This is a very impulsive move here to the downside. So currently this could have been from the top 1, 2, 3, 4, and we would be in wave 5 for example, as I said, of wave A or a wave 1 of an overall larger correction. So nevertheless, even if this plays out as a impulsive move to the downside, we would still have to expect that from the zone here, there would be a major, or not major, but a substantial retracement happening to the upside. So for example, just if we go, let's say it's going to be the middle, and worst case that could happen, the market will rise from there. And we would not be making new highs, of course, but we could still retrace quite a bit of the price action on the downside. So even if this would be an impulse, worst case, we are in our alternative scenario as shown here. This would still allow for the stock to rise significantly. At least 519 would be the target, probably more around 580. So this is percentage-wise, this would still be an attractive trade, assuming that we reach the middle of the target zone on the downside. So we're still speaking between 40 and 26%. So the risk is rather low here entering that trade, because under all circumstances, I'm expecting the stock to do something once it enters this target zone and then recovers for, as mentioned, between 26 and 40%. We could easily see that. So this would be still an attractive trade. And once we are out of the target zone, as always, our recommendation is then, of course, to put stops on break even or on the upper side of the target zone. How does it look on the indicator charts overall? It's on the single view here. For our purpose here, the longer term timeframes are those that are majorly interested here at the moment. We've been quite oversold on the daily. We're losing negative momentum here. MACD is trying to cross up with a new low. We could see a nice divergence here on the MACD, on the RSI, and also on the momentum. This is something I would then be looking for, of course. If we zoom out further, let's go on the 4-day. We are still coming down, but we are trying to recover the long signal. We are in the negative momentum, so there is still room to the downside, as we can see. Moving out further, let's go directly on the 2-week chart here. We have a clear cross to the downside. The long short indicator hasn't crossed yet. We're losing positive momentum here. The question is really how strong or how much weight we have to give to our alternative scenario. From looking at the indicators on the long-term charts, this is definitely something which is very, very realistic, that the stock has already topped out in wave 1 and we are seeing the deeper wave 2 correction over time. But as I've just shown on the imminent chart, I'm not expecting this to happen within a one move. It's not going to be a one-way street here to the downside. There will be counter trend moves, of course. That's also why we are having the target zone here for a long entry on the imminent chart, because something will happen. It's a rather safe trade. I wouldn't be buying into the stock right now if I would be going for a buy and hold strategy, but for a trade strategy, the target zone which is coming up here is going to be very, very attractive for a shorter midterm trade. And in the long run, we have to watch out for this scenario, because as we can see here, the 2-week is signalizing that this is very well in the books, as well as on the monthly. We've also started to lose momentum. The MACD is starting to curl down. Long short indicator is closing in. So this is something we really have to take into consideration here. It will take time. The monthlies will still take some time to cross, and we will see what happens once we reach the zone, how the stock will react, how much momentum we can gain to the upside. And of course, this scenario would be off the books once we are out of the zone and once we cross back up above this high substantially, because I wouldn't be expecting an overshooting B wave here to occur, because it's if it is corrective, then it would be a 5-wave impulse to the downside. So it is not very likely that it's going to be an overshooting B here happening. So it's either going to be now it's topped out, or we're going to continue the trend, and the reaction in this zone here will show the way for the future weeks and months as well. But overall, nevertheless, even if we are going to start continuing to the upside here to complete this wave 3 here, we are still looking at a major correction, a longer term correction, consolidation coming up within wave 4. So it could also just be the case that we are going to be seeing negative divergences on the 2-week and on the monthly indicator charts. with a new high, but still reflecting the case that sometime sooner in the future a larger consolidation for the stock is in order, which would then either be the alternative scenario if it is going to be triggered immediately, or it would be wave 4, which would also be a consolidation. There would probably be more of a timely consolidation as well. I would expect this to take at least 6 to 12 months once it happens. So all those things are aligned here. But for now, for the really short-term imminent picture, I'm expecting a little further downside here as shown, which will then be followed by an upward move, depending around 26-40% at least. In my primary expectation, it would be going towards new highs, but we will have to see how that goes. That's just too early. I can't call that at all. The probabilities are at the moment, there's too much possibilities that can still occur here for me to say this is definitely making new highs. The long-term indicators are not supporting that to the extent that this would be my only scenario. So we have to be careful. But as I mentioned, nevertheless, I'm expecting a substantial move from this zone to the upside. So it's definitely worth to trade. And then we will see how things are going in the future. Thanks for watching. As always, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all highly appreciated. And take a look at our website. The AI stocks package is available now. Interesting titles, interesting stocks in that package. I will continue to show them on the channel as well. And looking forward to the next video. Have a good one.